I'm Sarah. Thanks for watching. And I am coming live today to once again invite you to my new free 5-day challenge, how to create a mindfulness practice for your specific needs, that I am going to be running inside of my Facebook group, which is called Women Awakening Together, a community for women on a spiritual path. So I am Sarah. I am a traditional Usui Reiki master teacher, a holistic life coach, and a yoga teacher. I have been practicing for 20 years. I have been teaching for 10. And through all of this time, I've really learned what it's like to struggle to sustain a mindfulness practice. And so a lot of times we go from teacher to teacher, from method to method, and we have an intention and we try to start either meditating or some yoga or some qigong, and it lasts for a little bit, and then before we know it, the mind has gotten bored, we have found other priorities, we get distracted, we get tired, we get bored. And so in this challenge, we are going to really dig deep and figure out why does that happen, and what can you do to really stick with your practice for good this time. So yes, we'll talk about some methods and some different styles of practice, but the challenge is really going to be more focused on the practical aspects of sustaining your practice. So how to create sacred space, what is the best time of the day to meditate, what do you do when you have limited space or limited time. We are also going to understand how the mind works. The mind has different functions: memory, imagination, understanding, misunderstanding, like perceiving reality the wrong way for whatever reason. Well, not just for whatever reason, for prior experiences that affect your current perception of reality. We'll be talking about emotions and how sometimes it's just difficult to try and keep a mindfulness practice, because when you do, you have to actually feel. And sometimes those negative emotions, whether it's fear or anger or resentment or anything that gets in the way, doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to be felt. So the mind comes up with a million excuses as of why not today, and I'll try again tomorrow. And therefore you stay disconnected. And so how do you deal with this negative stuff? Sometimes one of the most difficult things is to just sit and see how your mind goes at 1,000 miles an hour, and it doesn't matter how much you try, you can't stop it. So why does that happen? What's the energy behind the thoughts, and how do you work through that energy so that you don't avoid your practice? We will talk about the importance of finding the right practice for you, because there's many different styles of mindfulness, and a different practice will work for you at a different time in your life. And so how do you know when a practice is working? How do you know when it's time to change it and do something different? How do you know if you found the right teacher, the right community? And what can you do to really shift effortlessly as needed as you grow and you evolve and you transform? So the practice that got you this far might not be the same practice that's going to take you to the next step. And so how do you know when a practice has served its purpose, when a teacher has served its purpose, and how do you find the next step in your spiritual journey? We'll talk about the importance of practicing from the right place. A lot of times people try and start a mindfulness practice with good intentions, but then because of previous programming, sometimes the perception is wrong, and they'll feel guilty if they don't practice for that day, and then they begin to lose momentum. So how do you honor with love and kindness, and at the same time keep yourself on track with your intention and your commitment, without regressing, without feeling bad when you quote unquote fail? Because there's really no failure, right? But the mind is very tricky, and so we have to know how to approach the practice in a way that is achievable and that keeps you inspired to continue. So this is just a glimpse. It's going to be a 5-day class held inside of my Facebook group. The links are on the post. You can sign up to get emails with all of the updates. If you can't see the classes at the time that they're scheduled, you will get copies and links with the recordings and a workbook that I've put together for you guys and lots of good stuff. So check it out. I look forward to meeting you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.